Hey, it's Brandy again. Here to talk about Shaklee products again. Uh, Up till now, the last two videos I've made have been my experiences with Shaklee products in just 2 weeks' time since I have first tried them, and also my 7-year-old son's experiences with Shaklee since we first tried the Mighty Smart DHA Chews. So, I encourage you to check those videos out if you have or know anyone who has migraines, food intolerances, learning disabilities, achy pains in their joints, or fatigue, chronic fatigue, things like that. I encourage you to check those other two videos out. But this video is about Shaklee Company and why I'm very passionate about the Shaklee Company. All this information can be found at shaklee.com. You can go to the About Us and go look at the Sustainability tab, and there's all the information laid out on a timeline in chronological order. But I'm just going to give you the basic summary. So, Shaklee, the company, was created in the 50s. Dr. Shaklee had been formulating vitamins for about 40 years up to that time. But in the 50s, in the late 50s, they actually created the Shaklee Company. And during that time, the public was beginning to become really have kind of a little love affair with science and chemicals and pesticides and compounds and plastics and all the wonderful things that man can make that had never been seen on the earth before, and it was so fabulous. And so having organic or natural ingredients was kind of seen as substandard, because everyone wanted the newest invention of science and technology. So despite that, in the 60s, just a few years after the company was created, Dr. Shaklee took it upon himself to create Basic H, which was one of the first non-toxic, biodegradable organic cleaners. And again, this was not so amazingly popular except among people who really felt that, nature was the way to go, and maybe we might have some long-term repercussions from all these wonderful chemical compounds, which we now know was right. So anyway, he continued on in the 70s to create a biodegradable laundry detergent with no phosphates, nitrates, or borates, which he promptly introduced around the time that people didn't care if their laundry detergents had phosphates, nitrates, or borates. But Dr. Shaklee's motto was to live in harmony with nature, and he believed very strongly in that, and he was not swayed by sales figures or marketing or what he thought was going to make him a lot of money. He wanted to provide products that he believed in. So that's what he created. In the 80s and the 90s, there was a little bit more public awareness of that maybe all these chemicals may have repercussions, and not just for ourselves. Shaklee has always been very stringent in their clinical testing for their products, but so they really didn't have anything to do there except for continue what they were doing. But they really wanted to be part of raising public awareness about environmental issues and the effects that these chemicals were having on our environment and on people as a whole. That it's more than just, oh, well, I can, if I want to take these chemical compounds in my body, that's my choice. Well, that's fine. But it's really kind of takes it out of the realm of choice when the chemical compounds that are being created are being dumped into our oceans and our rivers and poisoning our groundwaters. And in Dr. Shaklee's opinion, even back into the 80s, that it was going to affect our climate, that it was going to change the entire way that our world interacted with us, that if we didn't treat the earth right, the earth was going to not really treat us right either. So he was very passionate and interested in climate change. So during the 80s, Will Steger, who was a famous polar adventurer, basically throughout the 80s and 90s, I keep calling him Dr. Steger, Mr. Steger, embarked on a series of groundbreaking, record-breaking trips across the Arctic, across the Antarctic. A lot of those expeditions were sponsored financially and nutritionally by Shaklee products. Shaklee really believed a lot in what Steger was doing, and they encouraged him to make a lot of his findings available to children. Um, During that time as well, a lot of the research that was being done was marine. They were doing Steger did an Arctic Ocean expedition, 2,500 miles across the Arctic Ocean, and those were published. Those findings were broadcast to school children to make this newer generation aware of the effects of the things we do on our world. So during that time, he was also the company was also involved in the Wild Dolphin Project, the Whale Conservation Institute. They supported both of those. They provided environmentally friendly cleaning products for the vessels, the research vessels, for a lot of those expeditions to do ocean research. The Ocean Alliance, Cousteau's, some of Cousteau's expeditions. Um, they they published the dolphin log, Cousteau's dolphin log for children, because Shaklee believed that getting this idea to young people was very important. So during that time, he didn't just focus on the oceans. The Shaklee company also focused on the effect of trees and for deforestation on climate change. And so in the 80s and 90s, the Shaklee company participated in the 1 Million Trees Project in Asia, which was kind of spearheaded by the American Himalayan Foundation, Sir Edmund Hillary's foundation. Then around 2006, 2005, 2006, they participated in a 1 million trees in North America in support of Nobel Prize laureate Dr. Wangari Maathai. She encouraged the Shaklee Corporation to mobilize its distributors and educate them on the effects of deforestation on climate change and encourage them to plant 1 million trees, which they were able to do in only 2 years' time. So the company was one of the charter members in 1998 of the EPA's ClimateWise program. So that was a lot of years before they really started doing a lot of really aggressive greenhouse gas reduction. And Shaklee was a charter member of that organization, and they've been highly recommended as a business through that corporation ever since. In 2000, only 2 years after becoming part of that program, Shaklee was the first company in the entire world to obtain climate neutral certification, which they've maintained over the last decade or more. So in 2006, the company hosted one of the first carbon neutral conferences in San Francisco in celebration of the 50th anniversary of Shaklee. So since the company had been started in 56, it had been 50 years, and there were 10,000 participants, and their idea of making a big, this is our 50th, is to make their conference carbon neutral, to really show their commitment to the earth and to living in harmony with nature, as that being their core mission statement, is that we should live in harmony with nature within ourselves and also outside of ourselves. So in the next year, they were a founding member of the Business Council on Climate Change. Sorry about that. Which is a conglomerate of businesses who have committed to being for global climate stewardship. And then that same year, Will Steger went on another polar expedition in the Arctic, It was called the Global Warming 101 Expedition, and it was to basically show directly to American students that impacts of global climate change on the Inuit Eskimo communities in the Arctic, and that this wasn't just about oceans and fish and creatures, but that also people's lives and their ancestry, their ancestral homes were being destroyed because of climate change. And so in that same year, 2007, also a landmark year for Shaklee and the environment, Shaklee went to 100% green power. And back in 2000, they actually had already created an award-winning headquarters, a new headquarters that was basically built using all sustainable materials, certified sustainable wood, recycled carpets, recycled plastics, green energy. But in 2007, they not only had again obtained their climate neutral certification and offset all of their CO2 emissions, but they also converted 100% to green power. So that's pretty amazing to me. And then there's also many other efforts that they've led throughout Africa, Asia, to replace their dirtier means of electrical and energy generation with solar power and things that are sustainable to them, that are not only, especially in African nations, solar energy is also about economic growth, because you're not spending all that money on other types of fuel, and that allows those economies to become less dependent on energy suppliers, which is what, regardless of what your feelings are on the policies that surround climate change and oil, big oil or whatever, I think we can all kind of agree we need to be taking better care of our earth. We need to conserve the resources we have. There's not an unlimited amount. I think everyone can agree on that. And that the best thing to do is to make those resources renewable, to use our energy more wisely, and to conserve the non-renewable resources that we have, and to not have our economies dependent on one source of energy. I mean, that's really just kind of common sense, good for everyone. Now, as far as politics and policies go and how to achieve that end, we can all differ on that, but I think we can all get behind the concept of conservation and the concept of utilizing renewable energies, however that comes about. So that's really the reason. The products are really great for me. I love them. They've worked. They've produced amazing results in my life. But I'm very proud to be a member of the Shaklee organization, just because of their track record over 6 decades now, environmental stewardship, living in harmony with nature, maintaining that core mission statement to really just have us to live peacefully while we're here on the earth, within ourselves and within, as a part of our natural environment around us. So click on the link at the bottom if you would like to become a Shaklee distributor. I don't know, if you would like to try, there's lots of different products to try. Most of what I've tried is the vitamins. I was already using organic, sustainable cleaning products before this, but I am in the process of converting over to Shaklee because I'm a Shaklee distributor. If you're interested in becoming a Shaklee member, where you can get your own organic, sustainable products and also support a company that has a long track record of sustainability and environmental advocacy, you can click on the link at the bottom. If you already know someone who sells Shaklee and you like that person, you would like to support them, feel free to do that as well. If you don't, then I would love to have you as part of my team. And I would also encourage you to look at the other products, the nutrition products, because the same attitude of living in harmony with nature that Shaklee has driven them to be an environmental advocate is the same exact motto and mission that they bring into making their vitamin products, performance products that Olympians take, and astronauts, and their children's products, weight loss products. So there's a lot to explore. If any, it's just basically, if there's anything you're already using, why not support a company that cares about you and also cares about our world? It just makes sense to me. So anyway, links at the bottom. Check it out if you want. Comment if you want. If not, have a great day. If so, have a great day.